Power Hour with John Lee.
And it's the Hillsborough disaster, 1989, right? Hillsborough, fuck me. As I say, I'm a Manchester United fan. Nothing to do with it, right? And I don't hate Liverpool. I live in Spain, okay? And so when we look at the Premier League from Spain and we talk about the Premier League, we talk Liverpool, we talk Manchester United. I'm sorry, but we don't talk Manchester City in the same way. Great team, don't get me wrong, but it's not a great club. Hasn't got the history. It's, it's a prefab football club. Liverpool is a totally different thing. The iconography of the place, the history of the club, the fans, Anfield, you'll never walk alone. It's, when you hear that song, it doesn't offend my ears at all. I don't hear it as like a rival song that I hate or I dislike. It's moving, and I'm a working class lad from Irish background, so I'm not a million miles away from my Scouse brethren. And anyway, in the 80s, Liverpool, I think, were the best team in the world. I mean, maybe AC Milan, Juventus, but, I don't think there were any teams better than Liverpool. And the only reason they didn't smash European football, and which is really called football, global football at a club level, was because they'd been banned because of the Heysel Stadium disaster in the mid-80s. Handful of dickheads running around, really causing damage, hurting people, and people died. And so I don't want to go on to that because I'm also doing this. And what happened with the Hillsborough incident? Liverpool, great team, fucking superb football team. And they're playing in the FA Cup. And they were in the fifth round, I believe it was. And they went to Hillsborough, which is Sheffield Wednesday's ground. Now, I will say this to you, right? Sometimes I'm doing the power hour, I'm rocking, and I make silly mistakes. I don't realise I'm doing it while I'm doing it. I watch it back later and think, what are you chatting there, son? So if I do that, I mean, no disrespect, honestly, from the heart, honestly. If I say something wrong, it is a mistake. I'm not being fucking clever about it. These people, they went down to Hillsborough, right? And I'm talking about the Liverpool fans. And they've gone to the stadium, and they're all the proper Liverpool fans, you might say. At least the ones who go to away games. And they've gone down there, and it's weird when you go to away games as a football fan when you don't know the stadium. It's a weird sensation. You don't know what you're walking into. You don't know where you're going. You're kind of following the crowd because that's all you've got to follow. Maybe the odd sign here and there. And it's an old school football ground, or it was then. And they've turned up, and they've got like 3 entrances, right, from what I've seen. 3 ways in. And 2 of them are blocked. So it's the one right in front of them as they walk like onto this little car park, it seems to have been. And they're walking straight down, and they're trying to get in. They want to see the fucking match. And so they're all kind of just being ushered in there. And when they're getting in there, the first ones, they're going straight down to the front, which you would think would probably be a good thing, but they've also got no choice in the matter because they've got all these people coming in behind them, Liverpool fans, and everyone's just doing what they're trying to go in. That's why they went down there. But there was no control and there was no care. And so people were going in and they were getting to the front and there were more people coming and more people coming. Now, the ones who are coming in at the back, they don't know what's going on at the front. All they're trying to do is get in. They're not fighting. They're not hitting anybody. They're not even pushing. They're just walking with the pressure of the people behind them. And the people who are already in there, they're looking around. The people are coming in. Of course they are. They're going to watch a football match. But it seems to have got to the stage where people realised that too many people were coming in, but the ones who were coming in didn't know that. You don't know what's going on inside until you get inside. And so they're walking in and they've got fucking 1,000 people behind them. You can't just go stop. I mean, it's really, really horrible. I watched this interview with this girl, and she was about 21 when it happened. And she was there, and it was her first away game. And she's a 21-year-old girl, and she's going in, and she got spun around because of the force of the people around her, obviously. And she said she found herself face to face with a man that she didn't know, never seen him before in her life. And he was getting crushed. And she was looking him straight in the eyes. And she said she can't get that image out of her mind. Do you know what I mean? That's fucking horrendous. There's a man you don't even know right in front of you getting crushed, and I think that's kind of stuck with me as well. And more people are coming in, as I say, more people are coming in, and people are getting crushed, right? And they actually start keeling over, they start passing out, and people are shouting, he's dead, this one's dead, and there's another one dead. And so it turns into just this fucking horrendous, macabre scene, and they're still being sent in. So there's nobody at the doors watching this going, fucking stop it, don't let anyone else in, go back, get out. There's nothing like that. They're just being left, and they're being pushed in there, and they're being left to fucking die. And people that are down at the front, not just to save themselves, but to try and save everyone else's lives, they're trying to get out. Now, there's one little door, there's one little gate that you can open to run out onto the pitch. It's fucking locked. Right? It's locked. And there doesn't appear to be anyone round with a key. Okay, so that's bad enough. People are climbing up. It's not a pitch invasion. They're trying to survive. Right? So they're climbing up and they're trying to get out. Now, in some cases, and I'm not tarring everybody with the same brush or whatever, but people are trying to get out, and some coppers are fucking hitting them and pushing them back in. And some of those people who were pushed back in died, right? And some other people died as a consequence of this. And I'll come back to you people later. If you happen to be sitting here watching that, knowing it was you, knowing you did that, I'm coming back to you, right? I will come back to you, because before the game even started, there were people dead. I saw one fan right in the beginning saying that 50 people must be dead, and that's not how many died. So, yeah, they pushed back into this fucking thing, and you can watch it. It's filmed live, it's recorded live, and there's a commentator, John Motson, and he's talking about this and kind of describing the events, but from a distant angle, not really knowing what's going on. And somebody must have run up to the commentator's box, right? So he's sitting there like I am now, but watching football, right? And he's commentating on the game, and he says, well, yeah, we're just hearing that what's happened here is that some fans have broken into the ground, like cut a chain, and they've broken into the ground, and they're all on alcohol, right? They're pissed off. I don't know how we phrase it. And that was a lie. So somebody, right at the beginning of this, and as soon as people started dying and all that, some person decided to invent a lie. And the lie was that these people who were dying brought it on themselves. Don't worry, they're not good people. These are the people who broke in. They didn't, but we'll say they did. They fucking broke in, you see, pissed up, and they caused their own death. So when they're suffocating and they're passing out and they're dying, well, don't feel sorry for them because they caused it themselves. No, you caused it, and now you're fucking lying about it. Because who's going to make a lie like that up and send it up to the fucking commentary box if it's not the police? Right? And they had no ambulances there either. So, a couple, but not on the pitch, not that actually did anything. And so the Red Cross ambulance had to go in, right? Which was a very basic little vehicle, and they were volunteers. So the ones who were getting paid, they do nothing. I'm not saying they're bad people. I'm saying they weren't instructed, they weren't told to do anything. They didn't essentially do anything. They didn't react, they didn't respond. The Red Cross did, right? Volunteers. They drove in this, as I say, basic vehicle, just trying to save lives, right? And the fans, the Liverpool fans, they're trying to save lives themselves. They're carrying people out, they're pulling people over, they're doing what they can. The people are dying on the fucking pitch. And they're getting their advertising boards, and they're putting the people they can onto these boards and carrying them. And there's a couple of doctors in there. There's a couple of off-duty police officers in there as well, who are all caught up in all this fucking stuff, right? But the cover-up has already begun while people are still breathing the last fucking breaths, literally, right? Because they've already started saying that it's their own fault because they broke in, because they didn't have tickets, and they went down there with whatever they had, fucking bolt cutters or whatever they used in this sick lie to gain entrance for free. And they spread this lie to the commentator, obviously with the clear intent of getting that on live television, get that into the public consciousness while they're still dying. I mean, it's just fucking horrendous. And they weren't content with that. They started immediately pumping out these lies, putting these lies into the newspapers, into the media. Now, I don't want to vocalise this shit. I don't want to dignify what these newspapers, the newspaper editors, so-called journalists, these rags, what they did, what they said about these people. I don't want to verbalise it. I don't want to fucking feel that shit on my tongue. Johnny, bang it up, mate, please. Some of the front pages of what these people said about the victims of a horrific crime, who in many cases, if not all cases, were also heroes. Right? Look at what the media said about these people. This is all one fucking monster with various sides of faces, Medusas and fucking octopuses, octopi spring to mind. Absolutely fucking horrible. And so they start investigating this, and now, I mean, it didn't transpire immediately. So I'm getting ahead of myself, getting overexcited about this because I want to fucking attack these people. What they did was, after that, 96 people died. Right? 96 people went to see the football and they never came home. 96 families were destroyed, right, by this event and by the people involved, the people responsible for it. And the police who were there to protect these people did not. Not only that, but they framed them for the crime. The media, who is there to tell the truth and keep people informed, spread malicious lies and baseless accusations against the victims of the crime. The commentator on the game was used as a pawn to spread malicious lies about people who were literally breathing the last breaths on the floor in front of him. And then these bodies were taken to a sports hall, and so were the survivors, right? So I've heard stories, I've seen interviews, people talking about walking in there and just, being unable to describe it in the interview. And I don't know, I'm conflicted I don't know if I really want to understand it, but I know it was horrendous. And the guy told a story about, he walked in and this guy's smashing the fucking brick wall, his fists bleeding, and he's just smashing the wall. Don't know what was going on in his mind, but he was just bleeding really badly, and nobody stopped him. You know? Nobody there to stop him. This guy's having a fucking mental breakdown. Get hold of him. No. And that got to me as well. And during the aftermath of all this, the highly controlled aftermath of all this, 116 police statements were altered and edited. So police officers that were there the day off duty and on, they made statements, and many of them said it was complete absence of control. These people were pushed in there, they were sent in there, there was no safety measures, no protocols, nothing, and that's why these people died. And whoever's in control of that edited it. That's coming out. We'll just take the truth out and change it 116 times. And there was a guy called Lord Taylor. Probably wouldn't describe himself as a guy, but we're all guys to me. And it was the Taylor inquiry, and he criticised the police heavily. And so you've got all these edited police statements. You've got the guy there, the Lord Taylor dude, criticising the police, the protocols. Kind of vague terminology, really, not picking anyone else out, picking out anyone in particular. But, just generally the protocols and procedures rather than the specific actions and the people responsible for them. But no, and probably as a consequence of that, no police officers were charged with a crime. They're on camera doing it. Pushing people back in there. I'll get back to that. There's a guy called Dr. Ashton as well. who was just a Liverpool fan who was there on the day, and he saw all this and he was trying to help people and trying to save lives. And when he came out and started speaking about it, he went on television, morning television, talking about it. He was attacked. The establishment closed ranks, as they always do. They attacked him. Oh, he's not a proper doctor. What do you mean he's not a proper doctor? He's a fucking doctor and he's a hero. He's just saying things that you don't like, so he's not a doctor. I'll just change reality if I don't like it. And the one who is a fucking liar, who's also a doctor, is the coroner. Why? Because the coroner stated that everybody died before 3:15, before 3:15. Well, even if they did, you boys, you fucking people killed them anyway. Right? And it's not true. They just found it more advantageous to them to say they all died before 3:15, because from a legal perspective, they could say, well, we didn't have time to save the lives. They all started going berserk. Read the fucking Sun and the Star, whatever, the newspapers to find out what happened. And then we can say, well, because all this was happening, we didn't have time to save anybody's lives because they were all dead before 3:15. That was then proven to be a lie. Right? They lied about that as well. Time of death, lied about. Cause of death, lied about. Perpetrators, lied about. Victims, lied about. In a calculated, premeditated manner and maintained over a period of time using various pillars of power, like the judicial system and the media. The fucking police. It's a scandal of international proportions. And then, not content with that, they came out and ruled it all accidental death. If I push you into a dangerous situation knowing it's dangerous and you die, that is not an accident. That is at least negligent. So that's negligent homicide at least. Manslaughter, murder, I don't care. But you're playing table tennis for the next 40 fucking years at least. And he's giving it all that, the politician jargon and spiel to these people, to the Liverpool fans. Prouder people you will not find. And he's standing there, he's on the pitch, just near the line, and he's talking to them all. And the Liverpool fans start, not violently, justice for the 96, justice for the 96. And he's just kind of stopped with his speech and his fucking spiel and started just talking, but it wasn't satisfactory. But he realised that people weren't listening to that shit anymore. And he stopped talking, and he made some promises, which I'm not entirely satisfied with. In fact, I'm not satisfied at all. Now, I'm really sorry to anybody who's watching this who's been affected by the Hillsborough disaster. Well, God forbid was actually there. God, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry for you. I am. So I just want to get that straight. And also, I want to know who these fucking policemen were who pushed the people back in, who didn't prevent it, who didn't try to stop it. I want to know who told the commentator to tell that lie. I want to know who covered it up. I want to know who bent the rules, who changed the rules, who broke the rules. I want to know everybody who's culpable, everyone who's involved, and I want to see them on television being tried, and I want a proper trial. And if they're guilty, prison. If they're innocent,